Hi, good evening, dear friends, and welcome to our weekly online event, diving into Dhamma live Q&A with Bhante Sumitta and our special guest, Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda. I'm your host, Dulani Gunasekara, and we also have our co-host here, Iranda.
Hi,
Um, that
everybody.
he will also be joining me in the hosting session, and we are truly excited to be with you all here today. Today's session is a continuation discussion of Buddhism and Creator God, Part 2. So every Friday at 6 p.m. PST and Saturday 6:30 a.m. IST, we gather here on the Dhamma USA YouTube channel to engage in enlightening discussions and Q&A sessions with the esteemed Bhante Sumitta.
So mark your calendars for every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and be ready to tune in to these insightful sessions with our Bhante Sumitta, who holds a PhD in the subject matter. The wisdom he imparts is a guiding light for us all on our spiritual journey. So let's now invite Bhante to the studio.
And Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda. Karawan Saranai, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for hosting. I think today Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda has joined before, but we have two hosts first time together.
Nice.
Very nice. Actually, I'm so happy that we have such enthusiastic young people joining us with this program and also with other Dhamma USA events. Really appreciate your dedication, first of all.
So we can start with some questions. I asked around my friends and they gave me a decent set of questions.
One question, I am not sure if everyone is okay with Dulani's voice. Is that clear to you? For me, I like...
A little better, Gulani, yes.
Wait, what?
Your voice can be a little better.
Yeah,
Oh, I think it's with my AirPods.
that could be the reason, I guess.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
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 Sorry about that. Okay, so like I was saying, I asked my friends for more questions about creator gods and their perspective and how we perceive it in Buddhism. And I've got a decent amount of questions, so we'll start with the first one, and then maybe both Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda and Bhante Sumitta can respond. So our first question is, in every religion, people worship a central figure. So why do Buddhists worship and respect the Buddha?
So why do Buddhists worship and respect the Buddha? Every religion people worship a central figure. So I think Buddhists pay homage to the Buddha because he was our spiritual master. He was the one who taught us the way, showed us the way. So as a mark of gratitude, as a mark of respect, we pay respect to the Buddha, but we should not confuse with the idol worship. We have those Buddha statues that really facilitates us. It reminds us of the Buddha. So we just pay respect to the Buddha's noble qualities, not to the statue. That's very important. The Buddha nature or the Buddha's qualities. So we are always grateful and thankful to the spiritual master for showing us the path, leading us the way. I think that's exactly why we do pay respect to the Buddha. Mr. Ananda, if you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you, Bhante, and thank you, Dulani and Niranda. As Bhante said, actually, we are really thrilled to see young people like you guys coming and, joining these programs and asking questions and, the willingness to learn and, explore the world. So thank you so much again. Thank you, Bhante, for inviting me again. And okay, so the question is, in every religion, people worship a central figure. Yeah, first of all, we are human beings. According to the Buddha, we are not doing things just because of someone else is doing. Like when you say every religion, people worship a central figure, we just don't have to. I hope I'm trying to understand the question in the right way. So in Buddhism, there is no room for blind faith. Actually, we are not really worshipping the Buddha, but we are paying homage. We are respecting him because, as Bhante said, we are very grateful for showing the path. Now, this path has nothing to do with the blind faith. It is always experiential, and Buddha has never said, "Okay, believe me what I'm saying." No, that part is not in Buddhism. So that is the most beautiful thing in Buddhism. In fact, when the very question is asked by Buddha, asked by some other people during the Buddha's time, Buddha said, "No, you don't believe what I'm saying. You just don't believe because your parents said that to you. Just don't believe because it's in the scriptures or it's in the books or your teachers told you. I mean, you can believe, but you don't have to. But then how? In the Kalama Sutta, he says, he's asking, hey, if something is good, like if it is done with generosity, with loving kindness, with lobha dosha moha, alobha dvesha moha, you call it, non-greed, non-hate, and non-delusion. Is it something good, friends? Then they say, yeah, those are good. Oh, then you accept it and follow it. Whether I say or someone else is saying. See how beautiful it is. And in the same tone, he's asking, if someone is coming and telling you something, and that creates hate in you, or the anger, or the jealousy, greed, hatred, are these things are good things or bad things? No, those are not good. But then don't follow. So now in Buddhism, the beautiful thing is that he is giving the responsibility to yourself. You can analyze, and then you accept. So this kind of a teaching, this kind of a concept, this kind of a philosophy, we are not, in my knowledge, we are not hearing from the other religions. Basically, we know what religion is. Religion is believing in a God, in short. So Buddhism is not a religion. So when you're believing in a God, especially a creator God, so God has created you. God has created everything for you. So you have an obligation towards the God. So whether he is telling you right thing or a wrong thing, you have no room for asking questions. You have to follow. So similar thing is not in Buddhism. It's a way of life. And you are the king, you are the judge. So it's up to you. But of course, he says that if you do good things, you have a good result. I mean, which is very, very logical again. Like, it is Newton's third law. I don't know whether we are aware of. The Newton's third law is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So the Buddhism also is that. But especially when it comes to the mind actions, like, for example, you think something good that you have done. Every mind moment you remember that good thing, every mind moment you get the result. You are accumulating, or you are planting a seed that can give results at a later time. It could be now, it could be later. So that is why when it comes to karma, you call it basically karma. In karma, it is not 1-to-1. It can be 1 to millions. If it is a bad thing, it can be very bad. It's a good thing, can be very good. But you have the mind to manage it and see it properly and make necessary corrections. So I hope I have answered that. Again, there's no worshipping. It's just being respectful for the Buddha. He is no more, but we have what he has taught us. It's up to us to investigate and follow what is good and what is bad.
Yeah, I think that's a very good answer. I think both Bhante and Ananda gave very good answers. I'm sure I would love to share this with my friends too and see how they would perceive Buddhism through their lens, because ultimately we're in a country where a lot of people do practice different religions and not everyone is Buddhist. So
Yes.
it's a good way to bring together everyone and just discuss amongst ourselves about religion and our perspectives, because everyone is different. So I think it's your answers really, I think, really opens up that discussion.
Yeah. So just one thing, and there is no. It's not a sin to question Buddha.
Mm.
It's not a sin. It's not a bad thing to question and investigate. It is very much okay, and you are open to investigate. Actually, you have to investigate. If you just follow what is there in the books or what someone is saying you, that is actually blind faith. You have to realize, you have to see, oh, it is good or bad. You have to analyze it. So actually, Buddha one time says that he is a vibhajyavadi. Vibhajyavadi means he's an analyst. He's an analyst. So we have computer analyst, software analyst, like that, financial analyst. What they do is breaking it down to small parts and see what is the origin, what is the, how it comes and things like that. So that kind of an analysis is always necessary for a Buddhist to be a real Buddhist. Thank you.
Yeah. So the Buddha said, like he was just showing us the path, right? We have to walk. By blindly having faith in the Buddha, he can take us to the Nibbana. So we pay respect to him for all those wonderful freedom of thought. For example, in the Kalama Sutta, you can question everything, and there is no blind faith in Buddhism. And we do have saddha though, but that is not blind faith. That is the confidence in our master and in his teachings. And still, we can question if we have any. So that is one thing that we find very unique in Buddhism in comparison to many spiritual systems, where you have a master who also gave an opportunity, like you and I. We all have the Buddha nature within us. We also can achieve the supreme enlightenment like the Buddha. So that's also an amazing thing. So all these things, the more you dig into the Dhamma, take a deep dive into the Dhamma, we feel so much respectful to the Buddha. And when we go through those suttas, we always feel so nice and so wonderful. And so the Buddha said, like, Akkhataro Tathagata, he has shown us the way, and it is we who have to go through the path. And he said we have to look into ourselves to see the Dhamma, and not by having any external things that we can find something to hang on. It is within us. The Nibbana, the enlightenment also is within us. I think for this question, hopefully this should be fine. If you have any more follow-up questions, that's fine. Otherwise, we can move to the other one.
Yep.
Ananda, are you okay?
I'm okay. So let's move on to the next question. From a Christian perspective, do Buddhists believe in the concept of God and associated concepts like heaven and hell?
I guess this question is from a Christian perspective, right?
Yeah.
So
who asked it? But someone did.
Yeah. So do Buddhists believe in concept of God and associated concepts like heaven and hell. Buddhists believe in concept of God, but not capital G. It is the simple G. It is not the creator God. When we talk about Buddhism, it is the karmic God that we have. All those powerful devas in Buddhist cosmology, they are karmic, and they can come back to this realm, human realm, or any other lower realm even, if they have not achieved, if they have not attained enlightenment there. For example, Brahma realms, those powerful Brahmas, they could probably live for such a long time there. According to Abhidhamma, the highest Brahma realm is Akanita Brahma realm, and there they can live for such a long time. It is said like 70,000-80,000 eons, like you know, is just one day there. So you can imagine like the amount of time they can live there. Probably they might also have, some of them might also have the delusion, because they see the world system appearing and disappearing, the Buddhas coming and going, and many Buddhas, and so they are still living. So they might probably think we are still alive, and yet if they have not attained the final liberation, they have to come back. And even the devas, like in the 6 deva realms, there are very powerful devas. Even the king of god in Buddhism we call Sakka, and he could also become a human being later. So it's very interesting, like the concept of Buddhism in regard to heaven and even hell, for that matter, it is not permanent, and those sentient beings can be there for what they have done when they were humans, and or when they were in other realms. If they do some good or bad karma accordingly, they will be punished or rewarded. So like in in the heavenly realm, there are certain devas who would be born as a celestial being just by looking at the Buddha. In the case of Mata Kundali, he just saw the Buddha for a fraction of a second, and his heart was so full of happiness and peace. With that, he died, and he was born as a heavenly being. And in the case of what do you call Manduka Devaputta, he was a frog. He was an animal, just a frog, and he was just listening to the beautiful voice. Maybe he felt like very positive towards the compassionate words of the Buddha, and then somebody had a stick pressed on him, and he died, and he was also born as a deva. And there are other cases too, like with the little thing also somebody can actually be born as a deva. And some of them, even among the celestial beings, there can be some devas with magga phalas. For example, the Buddha went to the Tavatinsa realm, and he preached Abhidhamma to his mother, and then it is said she also became an arahant. So there are some devas who have already attained arahanthood or some other magga-phalas, paths and fruition. According to Buddhism, it's a complicated concept. And also with regard to hell, like the lower realm, there are many lower realms, like animal realm and other lower realms, where the sentient beings can suffer, but it is not indefinitely, it is not permanently. So they will also suffer because of their own unwholesome karma, but they might They will come back one day or the other, and then they can also become better people, better humans, better devas, and eventually they can also attain the final liberation.
Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda, do you want to maybe add something, or?
Yeah, I think let me put it in a different perspective. Bhante is really, explained the Buddhist cosmology in terms of devas and things like that. Now here, when in this question, when you say God, we always talk about a creator God, right? A super natural, what do you call, creator, almighty. So he's the one and only that God who is responsible for entire universe. So we never believe in such a figure. So that's the simple answer. But so as Bhante said, what we believe in, there are so many different life forms. Now look at the earth, so we have human beings, we have animals. So when you say animals, how many different varieties, categories we have, right? And then we have snakes, we have fish, we have birds. Some birds eat, some birds are carnivores, some birds are herbivores. There are different forms of life, like even in the sea creatures, if you get fish, and some are big, some are small, some can live long, some can live short lifespan. So like that, that's a vast array of life forms. So like that, the devas, so the angels, so the people, the people who have, not humans, they have a higher or a different way of looking at things. Their physical form can be different, and they are very actually lightweight. If I understand correctly, they are very lightweight people. So you can't even see them. The human eye cannot see that. So some people are some gods or angels or the devas live very close to the earth, like in the trees and things. Some are in like in hilltops and isolated places. Some are in different realms. So their lifespan, as Bhante said, is different. And similarly, actually, in Buddhist cosmology, there are kind of 11 life forms. There are four life forms are lower than the humans, like animals and the hungry ghost and people who are in the hell, suffering all the time. And there are 6 other Deva worlds. But basically, I think the question is asking whether we are believing in a creator God. No, we don't believe in a creator God. But we believe in different life forms. And when we die, we also can, as Bhante said, become one of those, life. Can become one of those devas or the angels or something like that. And one might ask, Bhante said about that Banduka Devaputra, a frog. When he died, then he became a deva. What happened there? How these things can happen? Because the life is it's a stream. Basically, the mind. So mind always is changing and going, right? It's a changing phenomena all the time. So, for example, you write an essay. When you write an essay, you write the first line, and the second line, the start of the second line will depend on the end of the last word or the letter of the first line. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You continue. So you have a basic picture, and depending on where you end, you take the start, the second line. Like that, when someone is dead, when at the dying moment, even though that stream of consciousness leaves the present body, depending on the last stage, the last thought moments, it has to take a similar suitable life form depending on where you end. Now, in this Banduka Devaputta, he's a frog, and he was listening to Dhamma. I'm sure he did not understand the Dhamma, but maybe he has got some kind of a rhythm, and the sound waves was pleasing to him. So with that happy mood, when he died, then he has to take a next life in that form, in that happy realm. So there are stories in the Buddhist philosophy, and when someone is doing a very little thing, like for example, just by cleaning the temple, and they go and become devas, after the death. I mean, see, it all depends on the Chutisita, meaning the last mind moments when you leave this world. Depending on that, you have another, good or bad, re-becoming in another world, or could be the same world. So, but just a simple answer to the question is that no, we don't believe in Creator God.
And also, I need to add, like when it comes to the concept of these devas, for example, in India those days, the natural powers. There were many natural powers. The water that comes from the sky is amazing, and the sun and the moon. They are really powerful things. So people really felt that they were like powerful entities like devas. So they started worshipping the sun and the moon, and if there is a really powerful wave, or like sun, the rivers, the water, and the light, and even the darkness, and trees, and everything became heavenly beings to them. Like they started actually paying respect to them, and eventually believing somebody is controlling the whole thing. And so there were like multiple devas. In Hinduism, for example, the Brahma is the creator god, and so Mahabrahma is the creator god. And then Buddha explained to people like Mahabrahma has the 4 sublime states, and so you also can see the 4 sublime states in your own family, your own mother and father. They have those metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. And so Buddha tried to see the real side, realistic side of that, and explain to them. And rather than believing in those things, it is paying respect is a great thing. I think even to nature, we have to be respectful, yes. But then again, thinking like or blindly having a faith like these are the some powerful almighty creator god that is running everything, that is not part of the Buddhist concept. So Buddha had actually cracked open the blind faith in the people, and then he opened up a realistic view about the lifespan and the cosmology and the sansaric order. And also he gave independence to humans, like you are responsible for your own karma, and it is your karma that determines your sansaric existence. And you only have to work, and unless you work, you can really attain anything. Like even the Buddha cannot drag you to the Nibbana. For example, Devadatta was living with the Buddha. He could not attain Nibbana. Even the Buddha couldn't do it. And there were some other Chunda Sukarika, for example, a slaughter. and he also could not. He was just next to the Buddha's temple, and they can do it. They have to take their own actions, and they have to take responsibility for their own actions. This way, I think, like for me, like I felt like very good when it comes to that concept. Like I have been given the power, I have been empowered to do what I want. Then I have to also face the consequences, rewards and retributions and punishments accordingly. And that way, I think Buddhism and that concept, the creator God concept, um, they are kinds of poles apart. It's not only Christian perspective. In fact, the other religions also believe in creator God. So we could say like all the other religions are different from Buddhist perspective in that way.
Actually, I would be very happy to have a creator God. Sorry, who can take care of us, if any? Why not? When you have a problem, you just go and pray and get some help. So, I mean, if there is a creator God, he would not create a person like me. Because then why should he create someone who is not believing him? So, I mean, we touched upon this question last time also a little bit. Look at the problems what we have in the world, and why these innocent beings are being killed. Could be animal, it could be even human beings. Look at what is happening in the Gaza Strip or Ukraine or Israel, or wherever you go, you see this indiscriminate killing. Most of the times they are in the name of God, in fact. So if you see the religious wars, actually, most number of people died because of the religious wars, because of the God itself. So there cannot be a creation like this. This is a this is a very bad creation then. Okay, I hope that we have answered that.
Yeah, I think this question was answered very well by both Bhante and Ananda. Thank you very much. Ananda, do you have anything you want to say, or should we move to the next question?
You can move on to the next question, Dulani.
All right. So our next question is, how does the afterlife coincide with reincarnation in the cycle of life?
I think it's related to Paticca Samuppada, basically. Like Avijja Pachaya Sankhara, the ignorance gives way to all the sankharas, and then sankhara pachya vinyanam, it paves way to the consciousness, and then vinyana pachya namarupam, it paves way to the name and form, and namarupa pachya salayatana, that those things pay way to the six faculties, and then they condition. These are the causes for the salayatana pachya passo, when we contact the things outside through these six faculties, like forms and all those eyes, through ears, eyes, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. We actually contact through things, objects outside, and then salayatana, these are the six faculties, and then we contact, and then we started judging. We started creating karma, fabricating karma, and that determines our final the sansaric existence more. If we see a form, and if you are happy with it, then you have maybe a desire, greed, attachment, or if you don't like it, and then you will have ill will or hatred or aversion towards it, and that will also create karma. Like, for example, in this forum, when you see each other, maybe like-minded people, you feel happy, and if you don't like someone, you might not be happy. See, those things really can, this contact through the six faculties can really make our karmic conditions, and then we create karma. And then what happened after this, the six faculties, and then we have craving, tanha, avidya, the craving towards it, or craving. And I think craving and aversion, they are like two sides of the same coin. And if you like it, you have craving. If you don't like it, you have aversion. And then we also take sides, we judge, and that becomes upadana, we call clinging. That becomes upadana. This is where we start to um, make our sansaric existence more powerful, and we cling to things, we judge things, we make it, this is me, I, myself, and that way we create our own karmic space. And upadana pachaya bhavo, and then when we have that clinging, then we have the bhava, the existence. And bhava decides, this existence decides our jati, the birth. And then this the birth decides our own rest of the sufferings in the life, and it becomes a circle. And as Ananda Mahatmya said before, like those the final chuti chitta, the final moment of our thought, the stream of consciousness, that determines our next connection. And having said that, there is no permanent entity that goes throughout the circle of samsara. It is the cause and it is the conditions. They help each other, mutually helping each other to sustain in this samsara. So there are certain karmic conditions in the past that helps our present existence. And then there are certain present karmic conditions that can help our future sansaric existence. So the reincarnation, or whatever you call it, or rebirth, they can be the connection between the present karma and the future future condition. Present karma condition our future existence. So one day we need to decode this mystery of sansaric circle, and we have to come out of this circle. Otherwise we will keep rotating like trapped in a whirlpool. We have to decode it, we have to come out of it, and then only we can get rid of this sansaric existence. Otherwise we will keep rotating, and we will be there with the help of basically with the help of the most powerful links here in the paticca samuppada or dependent origination links, the craving and the ignorance, that is tanha and avidya. These are the two most powerful links that connect us to the samsara. So we have to somewhere somehow get rid of this and get out of this, and then only we can change this cycle. Otherwise we will keep traversing in the samsara.
Very good.
Oh, sorry, Dulani, were you gonna? I wanted to ask Bhante, there was one sutra called the Achintita Sutra, and it mentions that the working out of karma is unconjecturable. It's not something in Buddhism like ordinary people can understand or comprehend how karma works out for us. It's each person. It's different, and to think about it, it would make you go mad. I don't know.
Let me. You said. But let me take that. Karma we say achintya. Achintya sutra is different. I think what you say is karma is very complicated because we don't know how it works, right? That's what you say. It is. But in the same time, it is very easy to understand also. Now, in Abhidharma, there is something called Chitta Viti. Chitta Viti means in the stream of consciousness, always when you take one object, it has 17 mind moments. In Abhidharma, explains like that. I don't have the English words, but I just try to explain in Pali. Bhavanga Chitta. Bhavanga Chitta means the main stream of consciousness. Then Bhavanga Chitta. So it is always there. Like for example, when we talk like that, I hear a big sound next room, in the other room. Then my consciousness just goes there. So the Bhavanga Chitta is breaking there. So you call it Bhavanga Chalana, meaning that it's shaking. The consciousness is just shaking there at that moment. Then Bhavanga Gupache, the meaning that the consciousness just getting out from that normal consciousness, it goes, it tries to see what is there, what is that. Then called Panchadwara Varjana, meaning that it's trying to get that message either through the eye or the ears or the tongue or the nose or the touch or the mind. Okay? Panchadwara Varjana, basically 5. Mind is coming later. Then assuming it is the eye, you see something, when we are talking like that, someone is just walking past me, then I get that attention. Sometimes I don't. So then the eye consciousness starts right there. Then I try to understand, actually, the next step is actually whether I'm trying to take it or leave it. Then I take it. When I take it, so there are two moments, you call it Samparichane, Santirane. Then the next step is Vattapane. Vattapane means the Vivastapane, or you're deciding at that moment. So now, then there are 7 mind moments. There you create new karma. New karma. I'm going to explain, right? This could be a little difficult, but just try to understand. There are 7 karmas being generated right there. The new karmas, and then Tadaramana 1 and 2, there are 2 other mind moments. Then goes back to the original Bhavanga Chitta. Then the same thing happening. It's very, very high speed. Okay, so what happens here? Now, out of these 17 mind moments, what you get to your mind, basically either the sound that you get, or the sight that you get, or the touch, smell, or whatever, out of those 5 things, when something you feel there, or something you see, something you absorb to your system, that is your past karma. That is because of your past karma. Now, you have a chance, based on what you see in front of you, you create new karma from there. So let me give an example. I don't know whether we talked about it last time, but this is a very, very important concept in Buddhist Abhidharma teachings. Like, for example, you walk you're walking on a walking path, and you see some dirt, some garbage someone has left there. Then what is the feeling that you get instantly? Oh, what is happening? Who has put this there? And you are getting an anger in your mind. Most of the people might get an angry thought right there. So the garbage or what that dirt, what you see in front of you, is because your past karma. Now, based on your experience, based on your education, based on your understanding of the Dharma, based on your loving kindness, the compassion, and various other, qualities that you have possessed already, you either you become an angry person right there, or you can become a kind person. Oh, what happened to this person? Oh, he has accidentally dropped this. Oh, something has happened to him. You can get into your kind, your positive thoughts. You can get based on what your experience is, or generally what happens. Who is this? Who is this guy who has just made this place dirty? So now this moment, the eighth thought moment, you are making new karma. If you are getting an angry person, then you are creating angry thoughts, 7 angry thoughts, which is your new karma, which will have an impact in your future life. And those, of course, will be negative because you're creating angry, akusala karma. And if you are getting a positive thought, a compassionate thought with that same side, then you are creating good karma, positive karma, and it is good for you right there. You don't get angry. The moment you get angry, right, the entire system changes, the mind and the body. The blood pressure can go up, the heart pressure can go up, your eyes can become red. So anything can happen. But remember, at this moment, you are your master. Either you can be happy, you have a choice. You can be happy, you're unhappy. You can be an angry person or a compassionate or a loving kinded person. So this is the beauty of the karma theory. And this is the beauty of Buddhism also. Now, if you become happy right there, you are a happy person. You are a happy package at that time. If you become unhappy, then you are an unhappy package at that time. So your package can change every mind moment. So you can understand karma that way. So karma is not something that you really get bogged down to know. It is changeable. Karma is what you see, but you don't have to take the bad karma. You can be a positive person by looking even at a bad incident. The way you interpret it, the way you see that, based on your understanding, based on your practice. If you keep practicing about deep Dhamma, which is in Abhidhamma, when you can't get angry of a person. Why? The person or self is not the person or self that we think of. So Buddha is kind of breaking down to the self into 4 or rather 5 categories. Form is the physical body, for example, and the mind part is into four categories, 4 elements, which is feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousness. So these 4 elements, like the feelings, you can have a happy feeling, you can have a negative feeling, bad feeling. The perception, the moment you look at that lump of dirt there, right? Your sanya or your perception can be positive, negative. So it is all based on your experience, your understanding of Dharma, the world phenomena. Everything is changing. So why you should care about it and things like that. So the perceptions can change. And based on the feelings and the perception, your intention is changing also. So karma is basically intentions. So either you can make him, good, make him good or bad, whatever. So the mind again changing right there. So it is always based on your understandings of Dhamma and how as Bhante said, the Paticca Samuppada, those 12 links, and it gives you how a person can change every time, every moment. So karma is not something you have to worry about. Of course, you have to worry about because you get the results, but you don't have to get bogged down with that. You can change it. You can come over it. Let not karma control you, but you can control karma. Or you can overcome, you can handle it, you can manage it. You see? So karma is, in a way, of course, I mean, that's a science. That's every action has a reaction. So Newton's theory. I hope, don't know whether I made it clear. I hope you understand that a little bit of it.
Yeah, I think that was actually a very good explanation.
So Eranda was also asking about the karma. I think for in Buddhism we have this Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta as a really important sutta, like Majjhima Nikaya 135. It gives a really detailed explanation about the karma and the role that is played by the karma, like why some people are different, like some people are good looking, some people are bad looking, some people are poor, some people are like rich, and why this disparity, and why uh, the Subha Manavaka, the young man, was asking the Buddha, and the Buddha said that is the karma that determines, that is the determining factor. Like if you do good things, you will get good results. If you do bad things, you will get bad results. So the past karmic actions, if it was unwholesome, now you see in the world there are like poor people. It is not only they are, of course they can change, as Ananda Mahathir said. You can change today. You don't have to succumb to the karma. Karma is just one condition out of the five. Like karma niyama is just one thing, but there are other four niyama dharmas, the ruling factors in the world too. So we have the liberty, we have the freedom to change our sansaric course. If we don't change, or everything depends on karma, so I don't have to do anything. That is not Buddhism. We can change. We can change our course. We are the owner of our own sansaric course. So we have to decide whether you want to take up the wheel or not. Otherwise, we will just be taken away, carried away by these karmic conditions.
Also, but now when you say karma, like poor people, rich people, tall people, short people, black people, white people, whatever. But ultimately, who is affecting with karma? It's you, your mind, right? So you have that choice to get affected or not to get affected with your karma. So when you generally say, okay, this guy is poor fellow, he has nothing to eat, and there's another guy who is very very rich. But if you really see, sometimes that poor guy can be happy. So in Buddha says, Santutti Paramangdana. The happiness is the biggest wealth. Because no point, like for example, very, very rich people, basically politicians. They are powerful. They can do whatever they want. But are they happy? Sometimes you don't think that, oh, why are these guys are always, working hard to get into power, and why don't you just go and sit on your couch and just watch the TV? Relax. Do they have this relaxation? No. So again, the karma is, in Buddhism, you are the master. So you are talking about that individual, which is you. So you need to analyze everything according to your mind, the way that you see things. So in that aspect, on that platform, you have that chance to be happy, unhappy, or so the physical form, the money factor, the area you live, which country you belong to, and those things are actually outside your mind and your package. But in your side, in your package, the mind is the master, and in that master master has always a choice to be happy, to be unhappy, angry, not angry, loving person, you know. So those choices are available. So that is why actually the Buddhism is so powerful in present day context. So you don't have to get bogged down to those things also. There are different ways of looking at it. That's what I'm saying. When you look at yourself, because you look at, oh, he's rich, he's poor. No, look at yourself. How does it affect you? when you compare, of course, it can affect you. Like, oh, I don't have money. That guy has money, but we have no idea what that guy has in his mind. Whether he's suffering, whether he has sicknesses, whether he has, we don't know. So your job is to be happy and overcome your current situation all the time with positive moods. Hope it has some value to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we don't have any more questions related to the topic, unfortunately, but we have other questions related to Buddhism. So what shall we do?
Yeah, I think if you have any question related to creator God and Buddhism, I think we will give priority. If not, we can reply to other questions. Yeah, I do have a question actually from these young young people here. Like, what do you think of the Creator God, and like how do you think? Like, you are, I think, more mixing with more children, young people who are like in your colleges, in the society. Like, what is their perspective? What is your perspective regarding this topic? I think maybe that will make a better inroad for us. What do you think?
Yolanda, you want to go first? I need time to think.
So on the topic of the Creator God and how that manifests in our life, I think a lot of people, they believe in some kind of, I don't know if the right word is like to say like a force or like some kind of energy that determines how things happen in life, or like, I don't want to say fate, but or something that's controlling in the background. But I think that it's just coming from this, I think, this thing, this feeling within ourselves that we don't want to think that we're the creator of our own happiness, as well as the creator of our own suffering. And like you just explained, Bhante, and Mr. Ananda, karma is cause and effect, and we don't always see that. We don't see immediately what was the cause or we only see the effect. But for us to jump to conclusions and say maybe God wanted this to happen this way, or maybe God wanted it to happen another way, we can't really say that. I think that's just coming from our feeling of not wanting to think that we're alone in this matter, alone in the sense that we are the owners of our actions. I think it's scary for a lot of people to think like that, because they want to think God or something, or some outside force is governing this instead of themselves. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Dulani?
Oh, I didn't want to come to this question, but I don't know. We don't normally talk about creator gods, especially in the university. I don't know. The subject never comes up, but I think just from a general perspective, everyone has their own opinions about who they believe in, what they believe in, and I think I am. I don't know. I don't really think too much about it, to be honest. If people say that they believe in God and they say that God has a reason for things, then that's their own belief. And we say that there's other means to that, like karma and other natural processes. So I don't know if I can give a proper answer on that.
Actually, I think the last discussion we mentioned that we created the God. To me, I mean, I don't, because when we get the question how it happens, if we don't know, we are giving it to we create the God and say, hey, that is you. You are the one who do that. And we accept. Well, we have nothing to do, but I am much more happier when I am undergoing some, difficult times. No, that is my karma. This is something, probably this is what I have done to someone else in the past. Instead of just thinking, oh, God did it to me. Why? Why, God, you did it to me? But I mean, here I have a chance to accept my responsibility. And it is, I think, I don't know. I think it is how strong in your mind. And when you take that responsibility to yourself, you definitely become a good person. In Buddhism, always when you look at your actions, right, you have to see it whether it's good for you, whether it is good for the other people. That particular action is good for you, and if good for the others, then you accept it. The same thing, like even Kalama Sutra, it says, and in Ambalatika Rahulawada Sutra, many sutras. So this is the test. This is the acid test. Most of us, even Buddhists, actually are following the teachings as a religion. I mean, I see this in my activities. I try to kind of create awareness among people about, don't harm animals. That will be bad for you, for your health and for your mind and for the environment. There are so many factors. But you know what people just ask? Oh, Buddha has not said not to eat meat. Or, the moment you bring that answer out, that means you are a slave to the Buddha also. You don't have to. Actually, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You are just a slave to anyone. What Buddha has said, you should be able to analyze. What is the background? Like, for example, when you take suttas, for example, the suttas are prescriptions. Like when you go to the doctor, he gives a prescription to you based on your sickness, your background, your situation. And the second person goes, he gives a different prescription. Third person goes, he gives a different prescription. But what is the intention? Intention is to make him feel better or cure his sickness, right? The Buddha also, in the Sutta Pitaka, I think there are about 17,505 or something number of suttas in different Sutta Pitakas. Diga Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, Kuddaka Nikaya, like that. So these are little prescriptions he has given either to small group of people or to individual. But the real Dhamma, the real how the mind works, the workings of the mind is explained in Abhidhamma. So now when I go to Buddha, he might say something to me based on my understanding, my education, my knowledge. How do I grasp it? And that may not be a second person. It may not be really relevant, or he will not grasp it in the right sense, right form, right understanding. So you have to be very careful. You are not going to become a slave, but you are investigating that situation. Is it good for me? Is it good for the others? Good for both people? Then accept it. Then do it. Analyze. Every action what you do, you try to make it good. Like, for example, you sweep the floor, you clean the house. You can do it in two. Either you can be very unhappy while doing that. Oh, what is this? Every day I have to do this. Why can't my brother do that? Things like that. But if you can, so you are doing the action, you go through the motion, but you are an unhappy person for that time frame, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, while doing the same job, you can be a happy person thinking, oh, my mother will be very happy when I clean the house. She has some rest. I am donating my labor for my mother. Okay, so, and I get some exercises also. look at that, your mind. Now you are a different person when you think like that, and you are a different person when you are angry. So Buddhism is just analyzing your mind moment at that time, all the time. Always think what is happening in your mind that moment. So you create that moment that will help you. That will help you to create a positive mind at that moment. So when you are positive, you're happy. So Buddhism has that that deep understanding about these things. I hope that answered that question also. So you need to, try to get into these deep, current, present day situations where you are becoming a better or a happier person in that moment. Just be mindful. And why we practice mindfulness, most of the time, most of the people, they don't know what is happening in their mind at that time. Like, for example, when you get angry thoughts, right? When you get angry, I mean, we all know that anger is not good. We all know that anger is not good. It doesn't help us. It can create my blood pressure up, all that. But we get angry. Why? Because we don't know at that time we are getting angry. We are not knowing what is happening in my mind at that time. So to be aware of what is happening in your mind at that time, you have to train your mind. You have to practice some certain things. That is called meditation. That is called samatha meditation. And vipassana, you're analyzing. So when you know that, oh, I'm going to get happy, I'm going to get angry now. So when you just think that I'm going to get angry, you are not actually seeing the anger, but you are seeing the angry thought coming. So it's a good thought, actually. It's a positive thought. When you see the anger is coming, you're not angry. So there are two thought processes at that time. Hope you understand. It's kind of a little difficult to explain.
No, it's very good. Thank you. So based on time, I think we can take one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna choose the shortest question that's here. And it's actually from Eddie Escalante. He's asking, do we have collective karma?
Do we?
Do we have a collective karma?
Collective karma. Bhante, you want me to answer?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, collective karma means ultimately karma is yours, right? So the Buddhism is always the individual centered, the person centered. But like, for example, assuming the Gaza war, right? I should not say all, majority of the Gazans, the Palestinians, hate Jewish people. The majority of the Jewish, I don't know whether I'm qualified to say that, but I think most of the Jewish people hate Palestinians. So whatever you can do to suppress them, you do, mostly with angry thought, and vice versa. Even the Gazans can do the same thing. So sometimes there can be situations, like, for example, the rocket hit a big city, and maybe say thousands of people, maybe hundreds of people die with that rocket. So their mind moments at that time kind of similar, because they all angry with the rockets being fallen on them, and they are angry. They have nothing to do. I mean, they are very upset, sad. So in that community at that time, they may be going. They may be having kind of the same mind moments, like similar, not same, cannot be same at all, but similar anger, similar sufferings. All these people might be needing water at that time, for example. So they are thirsty, or they need medicine, but no hospital to go. So kind of similar, similar negative thoughts. So when all these people die in the same time, similar, they might even go and get birth in a similar place later on, or people together maybe, who knows. So that way there can be some chances for collective karma. Even though you say collective karma, remember it is only self-centered. You can't have karma shared by, your karma cannot be shared with another person. So it's your own karma. So I think that's what I thought, Bhante.
Yeah. So we can do karma alone. My own karma will be my own, but we also can do karma together. Like together we do right now as a good karma. And when we do a good karma together, for example, maybe feed for the homeless people, we do it together. We do some charity activities together. That becomes a collective karma. And same thing, like if we do something bad together, it will be a collective karma too. Remember last time there were like some Thai group of young children. They were stuck inside a cave due to a flood. And so there is a very similar story in Buddhism when a group of young boys, they were trying to lock up a lizard inside an ant hill, and they blocked all the holes so the lizard could not come out. And luckily for them, after a couple of days or so, or a few hours or so maybe, they remembered, oh, we could not open up, and they ran back, and then they were together. They opened, and the lizard was not dead, luckily, and he came out, with so tired. The group karma, the collective karma, they all had to pay the price later on, it is said. So I felt like the same thing when it came to those young Thai children. When they were stuck up there, they must have done a similar action like that before. So they were suffering. So like Eddie said, like chanting even can be a good karma together. So we all can do collective karma. I think today we need to do that more than before. Like in the wars happening in different parts of the world, how that one war in one corner of the world can impact the entire world. Some countries can completely be gone bankrupt, and how other people in the world can also suffer because of that. Today it is so much connected, all these things connected together. So we all have to, I think, together do a collective karma. I strongly recommend we all do a collective karma by sending loving kindness to those leaders in the world, so that they can take the right decision. We need to send loving kindness to them, and we need to send more and more metta, so they take the right decision. They don't take any wrong, rash decisions, disastrous things for the world. And I think that can be a good karma for us too. Together we can do that. I
Yeah,
think
even though,
with that, I would like to conclude. I also have to attend another meditation session immediately. So, the Creator God, for example, in this sense, how we can think of the world. World is me, world is here. So like we have to think like the world we have created is this five aggregates. This is the world. So we have to focus on this world rather than focusing on we can also compare the external worlds that are the other five aggregates in the world. And the entire world consists of those elements, like the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, the earth element, the fire element, the water element, the air element, these are the elements that we find everywhere. So in considering that, I think the world is also within us. When Venerable Moggallana was trying to see the end of the world, Buddha said, look into yourself. The world is right here with you. And so look into ourselves and then find the final liberation. Trying to find the final liberation will be a better way for all of us. The Buddha said, imasmin yeva vyama mattake kalebare dukkhancha dukkha samudayancha dukkha nirodhancha dukkha nirodhagamini patipadancha panyapemi. Within this body, within this five aggregates themselves, we can find the suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So rather than trying to blindly find something in the external world, let us try to see something within, and let us practice vipassana, insight meditation, so that we can see the world within us, and then we can see the root cause of the world, and then the cessation of the world, and the path leading to the cessation of world. I think if we do that, hopefully there will be no question of creator God. We have created that. The Buddha said he has been searching for this creator God. He himself said that in the first utterance when he attained enlightenment. And finally he said that was the attachment, that was the tanha, the craving, that was the creator God. So we create our own world by this craving, and also by ignorance, tanha and avidya. So we have to work on that, and then hopefully we can get out of this sansaric circle. We can end up this world too. And I wish everyone a very happy day. Thank you everyone for joining, and may you all be well, happy, healthy. Sukhi Dighayu Bhava. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you all for joining, and sorry to end our session so early, but we have another commitment to attend to. So, but first, I'd like to thank Bhante and Mr. Ananda Mahinkanda for your insightful and elaborate answers to all of our questions. We appreciate your valuable time to come on here and share your wisdom and knowledge with our friends from all over the globe online.
For our viewers watching, please make sure you're following Dhamma USA's socials, YouTube, and Facebook to be updated with the latest notifications. Thank you again for our viewers joining us, and we look forward to seeing you every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Diving into Dhamma live Q&A with Bhante Sumitta. On behalf of the audience, may we ask Bhante to deliver some blessings for us.
I would like to take this opportunity to give special thanks to Mr. Mahinkanda, Ananda Mahinkanda, for sharing his wisdom with us. I think that's really very helpful, like his insights into Abhidhamma and also Buddhist practice, and many things that he does was very helpful today, I think, and really appreciate your time and your sharing of wisdom with our community, and also the young um, um, people here, Dulani and Aranda. Thank you also so much. And many people were very enthusiastic. I saw many questions were also posted, and really appreciate everyone for joining. And sorry we don't have enough time today to discuss all these things because we also have some other commitments to do. And again, may you all be well, happy, healthy. Looking forward to seeing you again with another session like that in the next week. With that, we conclude. Thank you so much. May you all be well, happy, healthy, sukhi, digha, bhava. Abhivadana silisa nichang vadha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti Ayuwangno sukhang balang ayurarogya sangpatti sagga sangpatti mevacha ato nibbana sangpatti minate samijjatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, and we'll see you all next Friday.